Okay, Laurence Gill, Eat, Sleep, Box and Repeat here with the Body Breaker, Mr. Love Island maybe, Idris Virgo. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, feeling fantastic. Just 2 days out from a big fight night. Can't wait for this day. Long day coming. Last fight before Christmas. So yeah, man, let's get it. Let's get it on.
Got your water with you today. Obviously, your opponent wasn't here to chuck you. No, thank you. But you had energy at the press conference today. But I think it was quite focused. Do you think? How do you feel about your opponent? How's your energy this week? In fight week, are you really up, or are you kind of trying to keep a lid on it, trying not to be too kind of controversial, we might say?
No, I would say my energy is very, very up. I never oversee an opponent. All my opponents, they've got what I've got what they want, so they will come to me and they would want to try to dethrone me. So I never oversee an opponent. So I'm grateful that this opponent accepted the challenge. Obviously, he's at short notice for my opponent, but other than that, I'm just grateful that I'm fighting this Friday night. 2 weeks ago, I got my weight down, everything was great in camp, and my fighter pulled out. He got cold feet. So now it's like every time when a fighter accepts a fight, I feel grateful like they're not pulling out. So I'm really happy now. I can't wait for Friday night. Hence why I'm so quite perky and quite in a good mood.
You've been fighting a lot recently. I think there's a lot on this card who have been on the November and the October Hennessy cards. Is that a conscious effort on your part? You want to just really keep busy?
Yeah, I want to be active. I always say I look up to like Canelo. And Canelo, the reason he's where he is now because he's been an active fighter. He's done all of his learning fights, and he's been where he is now. So I do believe I need learning fights, and these fights they are learning fights. And at the same time, I'm not taking it for granted because as anything can happen in boxing, you know what I mean. One punch can change a fight. So. Yeah, man, I'm happy that I'm always out there. I'm always fighting. So get this fight out of the way next year. Let's go 10 fights next year if we can. I wish one every month, just like Nigel Benn.
Absolutely.
There we go.
So on Friday, basically, how do you see the fight going? Quite simply, what are you doing? You've been talking about that knockout a lot. You tried to get it so much last fight. Do you think maybe you tried too hard last fight? I know a couple of people have mentioned that, but it's very much the case sometimes if you're looking for that stoppage, you're trying too hard for it, whereas if you can just focus on your technique, just good boxing, hit and not get hit, that's where you find those stoppages. So do you think you're going to really go for it or try and just box well?
Yeah, I think I do believe that fight I went out for look for the knockout. It's just that sign where people say boxing is an entertaining sport. They want to see knockouts. So as a boxer, you think, you know, I need to go out there and try and knock people out and try to be aggressive and X, Y, Z. But some people like the sweet sides of boxing, so hopefully this time I'll be in the sweet sides of boxing, be more calm and relaxed, don't look out for the knockout, but let my hands go because in the 6th round I let my hands go and my opponent literally got him out there. I literally got him out of there. I was one punch getting him out of there, so that just showed me if I let my hands go, any opponent in front of me, they're going to be in danger, they're a big problem. So yeah, so back to your question, we're going to be relaxed, calm, collective, and we'll get that job done.
Sounds great. Now, obviously, you're someone with a big online presence, a lot of controversy. I said you were controversial earlier. I suppose I should have asked. Do you think that's the right word to describe you, controversial?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm like Marmite. You either love me or you hate me.
Yeah, so talking about that, there's a lot of people who hate you, well, I say hate you, or a lot of people who are very critical of you and your methods. You know, they look down on some of the things you do to try and build your fights, talked about the water and everything. What do you think of those people who, maybe you could say they're almost a little bit snooty about the kind of you building your fights and obviously your background in reality TV? How do you feel about those kind of people?
Those people need to get a pen and paper out and take notes because I'm doing it the right way. I'm in this position because I know how to promote myself. These other boxers, they're boring. They're like paint drying, you know what I mean? So what they need to do is sit down with a cup of tea and study me, and they'll get to where I am now.
Nice cup of tea and study, Idris Virgo. There you go. Words from the man himself. Okay, let's talk about the big names. Why the hell not? Tommy Fury pulled out Jake Paul fight this week. What did you make of that whole situation?
Jake Paul hit the nail right on the head. Tommy Fury. He filmed it with Jake Paul. Now, there's only one way Tommy Fury can go now. It's fighting me next year because he's a Love Islander, I'm a Love Islander, both Love Islanders. I'm Mr. Loverman. I don't know who he is, but I think that fight needs to happen now. The fans will love it. It'd be a fantastic fight. It's sold out stadiums. It just depends if Tommy is willing to take the fight. But bearing in mind, he's got more of a knockout ratio than me, so he shouldn't really be afraid to fight me. So hopefully his team will sit down with you, I'll fight together. I think, you know what? Yeah, we might be able to take Idris Virgo. If that's the case, give me a call, Tommy Fimbles, and let's get it on.
Do you think he's kind of almost ruined his reputation? You see a lot online. Everyone's super critical of him pulling out because, there was a lot of discussion about it saying Jake Paul was going to pull out of that fight. He was scared of him. How bad do you think this is for Tommy Fury's fighting image that he's pulled out of this fight?
Oh, honestly, he's pulled out on a genuine reason. You know what I mean? If it was fake, I'll understand. I'll probably jump on with the critics and say, "Oh, you know what? You filmed it." But let's go to facts. Facts is he actually has literally injured his ribs and X, Y, Z. So people need to understand, like, it's not easy to get in that ring. You don't want to be getting in that ring at 25%, 50%, 75%. You want to be getting in that ring at 100%. And fighting Jake Paul is a big fight for him. So you do not want to go in that ring and back of his head he's thinking, "Oh, crap, I'm not 100%. So my respect to Tommy Fury to pull out, because it takes a lot to pull out as well, because just mentally as well, knowing you gave all the big talk in press conference back and forth with Jake Paul, saying you're going to fight, you're not going to film, look, X, Y, Z, and you pulled out because of that reason, and you could have still fought. So I'll give props to Tommy Fury, to answer with you. So I'm not going to slag him about that.
There's a lot of people who've never stepped in a ring who are criticising now. Tommy Fury's a fighting man. I don't really think that's in dispute from anyone who knows what they're talking about. So there you go. I kind of agree with you completely there. Anyway, another name, been mentioned a lot. I think I saw you reviewing his latest fight. You said he hit, well, I can't remember exactly, but very weak. Nathan Heaney. Yeah. So talk about Nathan Heaney to me. How do you feel about it?
My knee slits harder than Nathan Heaney. The thing is, there's another boxer there. He believes he can have me. Why wouldn't you believe he can have me? I'm from Love Island, reality TV star. Record don't really talk the best. One knockout. So all these guys think they could beat me, but the thing is, what I don't understand is my phone ain't ringing. There's no calls. So like, these fighters need to zip them out and don't call me out. If they're not willing to fight, I'm willing to fight whoever, you know what I mean? Next year, let's just get some big fights on. I'm ready, and hopefully they're ready.
Anyone else? A name I personally am really interested, I think would be a great fight for you. I haven't seen anyone mention it. Have you ever thought about Bradley Rea?
Has anyone heard about Bradley Rea? No. I don't want to be fighting these nobodies. I want to fight someone who's got a decent profile, a decent name, and can actually box. Brian Way, was it Bradley Rea?
Right.
Nah. Next question.
Right. Anyway, stop looking forward to the future. Friday night, you're live on Hennessy Sports YouTube channel. It's completely free. Tuning in to see the Body Breaker. What do you think is going to happen? Tell me about this fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a explosive fight on Friday night. Everyone needs to be tuning in. As I always say, I'm going to win or I will knock them out. But this fight is going to be very exciting. So make sure you tune in to Hennessy Sports YouTube channel and watch me live.
Idris Virgo, thank you very much.